Welcome to the joint webinar between Tamiya and Juniper Research, and thank you for joining. This presentation will be comprised of an overview of the market from Juniper Research, an overview of Tamiya's NFV solutions, and then we will finish with a question and answer session. Today, we will be discussing the current state of NFV and its benefits to mobile network operators and Tamiya's solutions portfolio in the market. If we could move on to the next slide. NFV, or Network Functions Virtualization, has been developed to address problems resulting from the high capex costs that come with operating mobile networks on a large scale, such as a national-wide network. NFV enables operators to place a number of functions onto various networking equipment, including servers and switches that negate the need for custom hardware. NFV can be split into three distinct areas. NFVI, or Network Functions Virtualization Infrastructure, is the hardware needed to run virtualized functions. These include the network switches, servers, and other connected equipment that can be placed in remote locations or hired out as a cloud-based solution. Secondly are the virtualized functions themselves. These are software-based and have previously been done through hardware. However, as operators increasingly move towards a more virtualized network environment, software continues to be increasingly used for network functionality. And thirdly is the management automation and network orchestration. This sector includes the services that fall under the umbrella of software-defined networks. This part of the network ensures that the hardware and software elements of a network are able to work seamlessly together. And on the next slide, we will outline the benefits of NFV. First and foremost, we have the scalability that it offers. The virtual nature of services means that they are rapidly scalable and can often be done via a mere software update to devices. And this scalability relates to both the time and the cost that can be brought to operators. Operators have been building and modernizing their networks for some time now. As a result, NFV solutions must be able to integrate into a wide variety of network technologies and architectures in order to seamlessly operate. NFV also offers a great deal of agility. With the anticipated rise of 5G networks, Juniper Research believes that networks will need to adjust to these changing network conditions quickly, efficiently, and in real time. And NFV is a technology that allows operators to do this. The heightened agility also allows operators to accelerate the deployment of new network services and increase the efficiency of how these networks run. And NFV enables mobile network operators to be vendor agnostic. This means that operators are able to avoid tricky situations in which they can suffer from vendor lock-in, essentially meaning that operators are unable to use network equipment from other vendors once their networks have become well established. In this situation, it essentially becomes too costly for operators to switch vendors as their networks grow. And finally, there will be an additional reduction in future hardware acquisition costs. With less reliance on hardware itself, the amount spent on network equipment will continue to decrease over time. And on the next slide, we will discuss how virtualization is key to efficient mobile networks. Firstly, the increasing usage of software in mobile operators' networks is generating a significant amount of operational data. Now, this data includes network usage, the peak times of use, geographical locations, and the different types of traffic that are carried over operator networks. This data is crucial for the operation of networks, especially in a real-time capacity. However, here at Juniper Research, we believe that operators are still underusing this data in their operations. One key technology that will enable operators to gain insight from this data is artificial intelligence, or AI. AI will enable the real-time analysis of data on operators' networks and enable these operators to make more informed decisions on future of their networks. The strength of AI will be greatly increased through the virtualization of these networks, and the technology will be key to the integration of services previously delivered over 3G and 4G networks. And as we move into the future, virtualization will play a very key role in the operation of 5G networks. For example, real-time dynamic spectrum sharing and the ability to regulate traffic will be far more efficient with the use of AI. There are a number of technologies that are crucial to maximizing these benefits, the benefits of virtualization. And we've put these down as network orchestration, SDNs or software-defined networks, and of course, NFV itself. As we stand today, major network operators continue to undergo radical transformation of their networks, increasing the level of virtualization within them. However, there is still a great deal of operator network functionality that could be virtualized, and we will discuss this further and look at some of the current challenges that are currently hindering the further deployment of NFV in the telecommunications space on the next slide. So, as stated, there are still a number of challenges for NFV deployment. Firstly, there are fears over the integration process. Operators can still be concerned with the ability to integrate NFV or other virtualization technologies into multiple areas of their networks. This is most prominent when you consider the core of each operator's network. Today, 3G and 4G make up the majority of operators' networks. While there is scope for virtualization in these networks, it is not the same degree as future networks such as 5G. Therefore, the increasing virtualization of network functions is inevitable as we progress towards these future standards. Additionally, with operators financially strained, there is sometimes no clear path to securing a return on investment into new technologies such as NFV. As networks grow, the benefits of NFV become clearer. However, smaller networks still may need to see the potential to secure a return on investment, and this needs to be made clear to them by the vendors themselves. Additionally, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to NFV. Operators must consult with specialized vendors of NFV who can provide the agility and leverage their expertise in the technology to help operators efficiently implement NFV technologies themselves. And given the wide range of services that can be virtualized, we here at Juniper Research anticipate operators to continue to roll out NFV gradually over various services. While this is not particularly a hurdle to the market, it will certainly contribute to the rate at which operators' networks' levels of virtualization will increase. And finally, it must be stated that NFV standards do not meet the same level of granularity that other standards in the telecommunications industry do. However, the technology does not necessarily need it. It is possible for operators to have the same level of trust in this technology as it does others. And now I pass you on to Alon from Tamiya, who will take you through Tamiya's portfolio.
Thank you, Sam, for the insightful information. Hi, everyone. My name is Alon Bar. I'm responsible for the product marketing domain in Tamiya. And next slide, please. First, few words about Tamiya. Tamiya offers transformative connectivity solutions to service providers worldwide. Our offering enables customers to manage a unified optimization process of both roaming and interconnect, and it is driving the future of connectivity through new technologies and services such as VoLTE, NFV, and 5G. Our regional headquarters are in the US, Israel, Luxembourg, and India, and we have a presence in over 30 countries. Tamiya serves over 400 operators, including 30 Tier 1 and 6 of the industry's largest groups. Next slide, please. I would like to highlight a few of the main business benefits of virtualized or NFV-based services to CSPs, as we just heard from Juniper Research and as we in Tamiya see in the market. NFV-based services enable CSPs to launch new roaming services in no time from a single location. It improves operational efficiency and helps achieving flexibility and cost reduction. For example, by decreasing the dependency and cost of hardware. NFV-based services enable CSPs to automate their processes and drive efficient decision-making. And it also automates scalability to adapt to traffic variations. For the telco groups of the world, or multi-affiliate CSPs, NFV-based services also help to gain better control and visibility on all affiliates, and it helps to simple onboarding of new affiliates, and to resell services to non-group affiliates. In addition, by leveraging multi-tenancy, NFV-based services also help servicing many different countries. Next slide, please. So, what are the main capabilities you should look for when planning for an NFV-based roaming VAS services platform? The solution should allow for unified provisioning, monitoring, and control for all roaming services from a single dashboard with a centralized management system. It should support services like virtual sting of roaming, virtual campaign management, virtual call correction, virtual probes, and so on. It should be highly customizable, and it should provide out-of-the-box automation and orchestration, allowing smarter group and resource management capabilities, and simple affiliate onboarding process to ensure modularity. And finally, with the introduction of 5G, the solution should be able to manage a range of new functions. It should be future-proof. Now, I would like to welcome Tom Sofer, Tamiya's Network Product Manager, to show you how you can benefit from virtualizing your roaming services. Tom, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sam and Laurent, for the fascinating introduction. So, hi everybody, I'm Tom Sofer. I'm sure you all hear me and think, oh, that's a very feminine voice for such a masculine name. So indeed, I am a woman, to avoid all confusion. And I'm the product manager of the network platform and new technologies in Tamiya. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFV and virtualization. Why do we want to have them, and how can we get the most out of them? So first, let's understand what is the main idea of NFV. So it stands for Network Function Virtualization, and it's in fact a new network infrastructure that's designed to decouple hardware from software and reduce costs by virtualizing and managing the network resources wisely. How do we do that? So first, we will look at our current network function. We'll try to analyze them, and then we want to understand which are the most common parts and which are the functionalities that are unique behaviors to each application. Once we have done that, we have identified that, we want to detach them from each other. We want to remove the dependencies between the main core functions and the more generic ones. And finally, we will reuse the generic actions instead of replicating them for each application. Why do we need them? We want to create smarter, faster, and better solutions that can organically scale according to live traffic capacity, and considering, of course, the resources that we have in our system. As I said before, virtualization and virtualizing your whole network doesn't happen in one day. It's a process that takes time, efforts, planning, budget, everything, you name it. And I'm sure you will all stop to think at least once, why do we even need that? So I'm here today to explain exactly what are the benefits that we can get from virtualizing our network functions and our roaming services. I will try to cover the main benefits today and understand how we can reduce time to market, how we can increase revenues, decrease costs, and how we can create more flexible and dynamic network. As the virtualization concepts enables us to have a more elastic network implementation, and then we can easily adjust and fulfill our business needs accordingly. We'll start with the first point. We're going to talk about how we're going to reduce the time to market and simplify scaling and easy service launch. We talked before about the idea of analyze, detach, and reuse. So let's see how it can actually happen. This is how most roaming services have been deployed so far. Here we see two roaming services, VHE, which is our call correction service, and IPN, which is our roaming of steering a service. This is just two examples of roaming services. Each of them is deployed as a monolithic service and includes its own reports and provisioning systems and separate database. In this case, especially because it's separated by colors, it's really easy to identify what are the generic functions and what is the core functionality for each service. Now, when we identify that, it understands us it helps us to understand how to break the service monolithic approach into common elements and service-specific elements, reuse the generic parts, and enjoy a single touch point for all services. And we can also enjoy, we can see here that the reports and provisioning are now shared for two services. The database is shared for both services. We have a single touch point. We can enjoy a centralized provisioning and report system. And we can also have shared resources such as roaming information data pool. What do I mean? It means that if I want to update my roaming information data, I don't need to go service by service anymore and update the relevant roaming information for this service. I can do it in one place, and it could come really handy if I have more than one service, of course, and especially if I have more than 3 or 4 services. Now that we have redesigned the services, let's understand how it could serve us further. And take a look, let's say that now we want to enroll new service to our platform. I chose Sparks, which is Tamiya's welcome SMS service. It's also a roaming service. I want to onboard it to my virtual infrastructure. So the only thing I need to do is to launch the Sparks functionality, the Sparks application, and connect it to the common resources. For example, the reports, the provisioning, and database, and that's it. So we see here that actually weeks and months of hardware delivery and software installation have shortened and turned into a short and simple process. So what are the benefits that we see here? We saw that by identifying and decoupling generic functions from main ones, we can share resources like provisioning, reports, and database. Moreover, we saw how it serves us well when we want to scale our roaming platform and deploy new service in no time. In addition, we see that a unified platform for all roaming services contributes to our efficiency. How it does that? By providing a single sign-on and GUI, and for the entire roaming platform and services, it allows us to share data such as roaming information across services and keep it reliable and coherent. It also reduces the need in separate maintenance for each service, which is a lot. Let's see how we can further see the virtualization concept in action when we're talking about groups and affiliate management. In this section, we will talk a little bit about the benefits of centralized management, how can we quickly onboard new affiliates, and how it can affect our revenue stream. Here we see a small group of 4 operators, let's say, blue, green, red, and yellow. Each of them has its own database, reports, provisioning, and unique roaming services, as we can see them. And if I am the group admin and I want to receive information from all affiliates to get a business decision, for example, I need to separately access each operator and pull out the relevant reports and KPIs, as there are no centralized systems. Let's take as an example our steering of roaming service, which most of you know. If I'm a roaming manager of the entire group and I need to decide on steering policies and commitments in order to get better pricing, for example, or stand put on my commitments, I need to be always updated with each affiliate commitment status, aggregated data, to make decisions according to it, and finally to distribute it back to each affiliate. So I need to do it one by one. And there is a technical overhead as well. So I took as an example the case where I have several affiliates on different platforms, and each could have its own service. And so, for example, The blue and the green, both of them has the VHE service, the call correction service. But in this case, the blue uses version 3.4, let's say, of VHE, and the green uses version 7. So here, as an operation and support and maintenance, I need to support and maintain double two versions, and I'm doubling actually the efforts. On the other hand, when we use multi-tenant platform, we have a centralized solution for all the affiliates where the common resources are serving all affiliates. Each affiliate gets a dedicated, let's say, chunk of every resource, whether it's the database, the service, or any other tool. This chunk is not exposed to the other affiliates. And so it lets the group admin to have a centralized platform so he can get immediate business decisions. As a roaming manager, you can see the aggregated data of the entire group and apply changes in real time. And as a support and maintenance manager, for example, you can enjoy much less maintenance and single version for all services. Let's take it to a real case. We have a group A, which has 10 affiliates, and they had 5 services. So when they moved to a multi-tenant platform, they moved from 10 times 5 installations to 1 deployment. We do understand the need of a group to save resources, so the platform sharing dramatically reduces resource consumption. Version updates done only once for the whole platform. There is single connectivity to the group and not per affiliate, which saves a lot, both troubleshoot and efforts. Service changes, for example, the steering of roaming that we discussed before, applied immediately across the entire group from the moment of decision. And as we understand the need of different service for different affiliate, each affiliate is independent to manage its service preferences. For example, if I have 2 affiliates who has welcome SMS service, so the text, the retail price, etc., could be changed independently by the affiliate itself. Moreover, this also allows to onboard non-affiliate enterprises, as Alon mentioned, such as banks, for example, to the platform and resell the services to increase incoming revenues. What are the benefits of the multi-tenancy? And let's recap. So first of all, it's easier to gain control and manage the platform as there are several affiliates. A group view and analysis tool will give us the holistic point of view to make better decisions in less time. It will also improve performance, improve the numbers by getting better wholesale resolutions. So we discussed the benefits of group steering. We can use it also for signaling saving, even against fraud. For example, if I have fraudulent number that is found by one of my affiliates, it will immediately serve the rest of the affiliates, as it will automatically be tagged as a blacklist number and prevent money loss and network abuse. It will simplify the onboarding once the platform is ready, similarly to the service onboarding that we saw before, the service rollout, sorry. So here we can simply onboard new affiliate to the service, could be introduced in no time. And in continuation to that, it will increase revenue because we can upsell the service, onboard them simply to our platform. So non-affiliate enterprises and MVNOs can generate new revenue streams that we didn't have so far. Let's discuss a little bit of how we can reduce our costs. So in the next few slides, we're going to see how we can speed up operational tasks and use our manpower for more valuable and business promotive tasks. Here we see a table of day-to-day tasks in the operational teams. Each color represents the level of complexity and needed expertise to perform it. So in this case, red stands for high complexity. Usually expertise needed and time consumption is high. Orange stands for medium effort level, which not necessarily require an expert, but usually takes a long time. Sorry, I skipped one. So let's take a look at the list. I chose several common operational efforts. The first one is access VMs list and see their states. So this one is high complexity. It requires operational expertise such as VM that should be accessed separately through Linux. I need to go VM by VM and check his state and report back. There is a form, there is everything. It takes time. VM actions. If I want to start my virtual machine, for example, it will require operational expertise, and each VM should be accessed separately, again, through Linux in order to enable this action. If I want to set up a new KPI, alarm, action, those actions were done up to now by us as a vendor, for example, in TOMIA. If an operator wanted to define a new alarm, he needed to open a request. We defined the alarm together, and then, it takes more than 1 day until everything happens and enables and going through the system. If I want to view history and logs, I need an expert. It was surprising to me as well, in order to have a deep dive through Linux and find all of those relevant history logs. To view service details and configuration as well, not easy. Affiliate management. If I'm a group and I wanted to manage my affiliate, I should have go affiliate by affiliate and through, of course, operational expert, connect to each affiliate, update service, service by service through Linux. As we saw before in the multi-tenant platform, there are a lot of, let's say, operational efforts when it comes to versions and also aggregated data that I want to get from all of my affiliates, and I need to go one by one. I cannot see it in one place. Gear redundancy, in case you have sites, require dedicated professional operative function. So this is how the screen, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the screen, but this is how all the tasks we saw in the previous slide are performed today. A Linux screen full of commands that the operational team runs through the command line. Multiple commands are needed in order to perform one single action. Some can get tricky, and only 1 or 2 experts in your whole organization will know how to do them, and it complexes things and it creates a bottleneck. So instead, here we are presenting the element manager system, which maybe you know as EMS of the virtual environment. The element manager, as its name suggests, is managing all the virtual elements in the platform. This is a key element in the NFV world. I'm guessing you came across that term. So it is in charge of all of the network performance. It could scale up and down according to real-time traffic volume. You can control all the virtual function in terms of life cycle through this through this view. You can see on the right all the, let's start with the left actually. I can show you the VNF roaming services list here, and you can see all the live services that are present in our current platform. I can see to the right that I have site A. So in case of gear redundancy that I have, or that I have more than one site, I can just open the drop down and go see the other site. In the center or in the right part, we are seeing the VNF services list. We see all the services that are located in site A. I've removed the IPs and everything because it's a running system. And we can see here a lot of information we get on each service on the virtual machine. We can see which version he has. We can do some actions like start, stop, restart, scale in. We can see the uptime. In the other tab, we can see the actual VMs list that this services are running on. So we have actually here a full view. So let's connect it to what we talked about before. If I'm taking the actions that the operative team should do, if he wants to access the VM list and the state, instead of going inside every service in this Linux screen and command line, we're just going to click on the tab, and just see the VM list in front of us. If we want to start the machine, we can just click on it or automate this process as well. If you want to set new KPIs, I'm reminding you, it went through a process where the operator should ask the vendor to do it for him. Here we can just do it in few clicks. View history and logs as well. Instead of deep diving through the Linux system, we can just go and click the buttons, see the actions history, the alarms history, everything is here exposed to us. So we actually see here an intuitive, simple, straightforward GUI for all the actions that used to take a lot of time before on a single touch point for all the services. This is a centralized view for all the services, all the VMs, everything that we are using is here. We also see here that we have role-based access. So we're talking about giving personal permissions so every user will be able to see different screens that are adjusted to him according to his priority and the permissions that he received. So, for example, admin 1 might not see the same as admin 2 as, for example, affiliate 3. They will see different screens here. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits. Increase efficiency. This is quite obvious, straightforward. Trade long and complex actions with a single button click. Let your expert focus on the important tasks instead. Exploit the resources. Manage resources wisely by scaling up and down as traffic dynamically change. This is something great that the Element Manager and the whole virtual platform brings with it. And gain focus. Why am I saying that? Because when you're using a single platform to manage and monitor all services, all resources in every affiliate, you are more efficient, you're gaining focus, you see it drives more functional decisions and, of course, faster. In the last part, we're going to discuss the available implementations of the virtual environment, in very high level. As Sam said at the beginning, when it comes to NFV, there is no one-size-fits-all. So in the next few slides, I'm going to show several implementations that demonstrate the different levels of virtualization. It is important to say that there is no right or wrong. There is only a factor of what suits best to you and to your network structure, and what needs at this point of time will serve you best. Virtualization is very flexible. This is what we should remember, in a way that you can move from one implementation to the other as your needs evolve. Relatively easy. It makes sense when you do that this way. So I'm going to show here in this next slide the overview of the main virtualization implementations from medium level, let's say, of virtualization to a full one. So what is your flavor? Maybe it is static virtual machines where services are deployed on virtual machines and include EMS GUI, but enables manual lifecycle actions and also alarms, configuration, and KPI settings. Maybe it is virtual islands where every vendor deploys the services, its own services, actually on a dedicated virtual resources, and they're managed by a virtual function manager and support auto scaling and healing. And maybe this is a standard NFV where every vendor deploys its services as VNFs that are fully managed by the operator and actually creates a full-blown NFV infrastructure. So let's see the first one. We'll keep rolling with the same example as before, in the beginning. Here we have steering of roaming and call correction services. They are deployed on virtual machines. On top of the familiar services, we will deploy the Element Manager, the EMS that we saw before, which is a virtual function itself, by the way, that will oversee both services' network state and communicate their status, including sending alarms, measuring KPIs, and enabling manual actions on both services and VMs such as start, restart, stop, everything that we saw before. Here we see a little bit more complex scenario where operators' core virtual functions, such as, let's say, CRM, EPC, etc., are being deployed on core's virtual resources to the right in yellow as VNFs, and their life cycle is managed through a generic VNF manager. To the left, we will see the vendor. To the left, we will see the vendor VNF's deployment on a dedicated resources. They will be managed entirely by the element manager and a separate VNF manager also provided by the vendor. In case of several vendors, for example, we will see several islands with different VNFs. The VNF, the virtual network function, will be managed by virtual network function managers, VNFM, and all of the virtual, all the VNF managers will be overseen by the operator's orchestrator. He will be in charge to allocate resources, to oversee the entire network activity. So if we'll simplify that, all the yellowish parts are the operator's components, all the purple parts are usually the vendor components, and we can see the distinction between the parts of every, the responsibility of every part. Here we see the standard NFV network structure according to industry standards. In this case, even though I left the roaming services in purple, there's no real difference between roaming VNFs to any other VNFs deployed in the network, at least in terms of functionality. Here, all vendor services are integrated into the operator's network and managed by a generic VNF manager and orchestrator. All resources will be distributed among the different network functions by need, priority, configurations, and of course done by operator's orchestrator. This is a full automated mode where, for example, CRM and EPC VNFs are exactly like a call correction VNF or steering of roaming VNF. They are all tools that the orchestrator can use for the need of the network. So again, let's see the benefits of multiple implementations that are available for the virtual world. First of all, grow as you go. We saw that virtualized environment allows you to add resources according to real-time traffic status. It also evolves smoothly. It enables you to evolve smoothly if you choose the implementation that suits your network best and have the freedom to change it as you evolve and grow. And it saves time and money. When you lose the overhead actions and the redundant tasks, by automating the repetitive processes, we are saving a lot of time, efforts, and manpower and budget, of course. Let's recap. So we started the webinar with the question, how can we benefit from virtualizing the roaming services? I want to go over the main values that will stay with you, hopefully. So you can cut costs by sharing resources across services and affiliates. You are able to scale and control your network easily by decoupling services from hardware and common applications. We saw it in the beginning when we took our network, we have transformed it and added different services in no time when we connected them to the rest of the common applications. It allows you to increase revenues by reselling services and smart affiliate management. So not only you can manage your affiliate in a more, let's say, business-driven view, but we can also open the market and open new revenue stream when we resell the services and onboard new affiliates that are not part of my organic group. In the third part, we saw how task overhead can be cut when we are using intuitive GUI instead of complex actions and a lot of commands in the command line. And last but not least, I think that the most important thing is that to take from here is that virtualization gives you the ability to see the whole network state in a single place. Whether we're talking about resource management or service management or affiliate management, everything is in one place instead of using different views, different softwares in order to monitor all of our services. We're getting here single touch points that enable us to oversee the whole network functions, and I think this is the main value that the virtualization is bringing to us. Tamiya has created a virtualized roaming platform where all network roaming services are virtualized. We have the VIPN for steering, the VVHE Vs for virtual, so virtual VHE for call correction, vSparks for welcome SMS. Those are the services that we've discussed during the presentations, but we have all of our network services virtualized. We give full support in all virtual implementations, whether if it's VM deployment, if it's NFV islands, if it's standard NFV, what suits you best. We are able to deploy all of those forms and all of the flavors. We did develop in-house of two components, main components in the virtualized world, the element manager that we saw before, and the VNF manager, which is running the whole life cycle of the platform. We have multi-tenancy and group management platforms, and we offer geo-redundancy solutions. I think it's our latest experience has brought us to a better understanding of how our customers see the market and their needs when they're approaching us to share their insights about virtualization and their network, have brought us to understanding that we have an end-to-end solution to offer in this term, and we do see a lot of benefits that sometimes are not reflected in the industry because of all of the technology overhead. So I think this is really something that should be considered of how it could serve us and what are the benefits that we're getting if we're going to virtualize our platform and going towards a better resource management, especially when traffic is growing exponentially. So thank you very much for being with us. You're invited to follow us, send me an email, ask questions, whatever you want. And now I think we have a little bit Q&As, Sam?
Yes, we do, yeah. Just before we start, if you are an attendee, you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner there is a chat box ready for your questions. But I think me, Tom, and Alon will begin by answering a question that's very relevant in today's current climate, and given the rise of COVID-19 and how it continues to spread and dominate the news. How do we feel that the virus will affect the roaming world?
Well, Sam, we do see changes in the roaming traffic, of course. I say changes because surprisingly traffic is not only decreasing. That's true that roamers are traveling less, of course, now. And so we see graphs declining when it comes to phone calls. But on the other hand, we do see that the IoT and the M2M market, machine-to-machine, are growing. Interconnect, for example, is also demonstrating a growth due to longer international calls. So here, by the way, we see a significant benefit of virtualizing the platform because when you're using the scaling functionalities to divert roaming dedicated resources to other network needs, then you're more efficient. Moreover, let's say that customers who uses the virtual platform already, they can use the fast enrollment advantages. I mean that they could instantly roll out, for example, our Spark service, our welcome SMS service, and you can use it in this case in the COVID it's really significant because it lets you broadcast health restrictions, for example, to the outbound roamers traveling abroad, and also engage your inbound roamers by providing them with emergency numbers or locations of health centers and more. And it is, by the way, important to mention that we will be providing those services at no cost through this challenging period, as we hope to at least do small things to help the scenario, the situation.
Mm-hmm. I know, I fully agree. I think when it comes to the spread of the virus, it's unprecedented times. It's not really sure how what will happen over the next few months, what sort of scenarios and solutions will be needed to combat what can be done. But I think that would be is a very good answer. As we all know, the telecommunications market very much has one big advantage for many stakeholders, and that is the ubiquity of SMS. Obviously, being ubiquitous in any situation, any government or any organization can reach subscribers very quickly, knowing that their message will be terminated. As I said, SMS is ubiquitous.
Exactly, you are very right.
And moving on to another question, from your view as a vendor, have you seen an increased interest in virtual value-added solutions over the last few years, and how does the demand now compare to, say, last year?
Definitely yes. I think we could say that all the recent RFPs or RFIs in the last 6 months or so included the virtualization, whether it's cloud deployment or full NFV roaming platforms. If we compare it to 2018 or H1 of 2019, this represented a dramatic increase, as before many tenders were still with physical hardware auction. And we do see that operators clearly put the network virtualization in a very high priority in their roadmap, and when they allocating budgets, for example, and asked us to consult in those matters.
No, I agree. I think virtualization, just as a broad stroke, is something that's obviously been on the radar for operators for a number of years now. But obviously, as standards progress, we're seeing virtualization becoming more and more key to new operator services. And obviously, operators, maybe tentative, maybe too much of a strong word, but obviously they are starting to dip their toes in slowly and looking to see how virtualization can be done, and what benefits it can bring over certain services. But as we all know, operators are very keen to protect their network, obviously, even with beneficial technologies. Even if you can highlight those benefits, operators are still going to have that hesitancy towards implementing the virtualization. But I certainly think, from Juniper Research's point of view, we do see virtualization becoming a key element to operators' network operations, especially when we take into consideration 5G, the services that will bring, and most notably the functions that need to be changed very, very quickly and very, very efficiently. You can list off a number of different types of scenarios. Mission critical and frontline workers are, again, very relevant in today's climate, but virtualization is going to be a key part of that. And we're moving away from hardware very much towards software, and it certainly be something that we will see over the next 5 years as operators increasing the degree of virtualization within all parts of their network.
Yes, I completely agree. Also, in the 5G matter, the vision of 5G is a fully auto-managed network. The network structure is completely different than what we know today, and it's been leaning on the NFV structure almost completely. We do see that.
Yes, yeah, I completely agree. And I think we will move on to one final question. So we would like to hear more about your recent NFV related PR.
Oh yes, so Tamiya have recently issued a PR about our successful NFV group platform deployment. We've deployed it in a major tier 1 group, which serves multiple affiliates in parallel. We have deployed their virtual listing of roaming, campaign management, and call correction services. We've used Tamiya's virtual probes there that could also scale in and out according to traffic. It is all managed and monitored through an advanced element manager and our VNF manager, as we discussed before, through a single smart platform. So the whole group management, the alarms, the functionality, everything is managed through one platform, which is amazing. The platform enables the entire group to leverage the roaming services together with geo-redundancy and multi-tenancy solutions. So thanks to the accelerated onboarding of affiliates and the quick service rollout, the migration process is relatively smooth, which is really amazing. We can already see how it improves both group management and affiliate management and experience in day to day. First of all, it's full live system, and second of all, we do get comments and response from the affiliates in the group, and they're really happy with the solution. So we are really proud of it. We worked hard in order to get position ourselves as the best and give the best service we can give.
Excellent stuff. I think that's all the questions we have today. So I'm sure Tom and Alan would join me in thank you for your participation today, and thank you for attending our webinar. The recording will be made available after the call, as will the slides. Again, thank you very much for joining us today. We wish you a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. Stay safe.